especially on that front line for the Oakland Roots. Dom and Doner might flip-flop. Doner's going to give you the verticality on the right-hand side, but it all comes down
for Jordan Stewart that he's tried to push different buttons to get things going. You could have a lot of influx from the bench with Soyberg coming in later, but he does tweak things in the 11 this time around.
The two wide parts are going to be really important. You see a Klein and Scott, the ability to go 1v1, to be expansive, but also to isolate their individual defender. If they do that, that allows Agent Reblar, the number 7 Sunshine, to make those runs underneath Ivanovic. That front three, they need to be expansive, they need to be aggressive to start this game.
These are two teams who, again, need this game in the worst way. More so Monterey Bay, because they've played an extra 2 games than the Oakland Roots. They have fewer opportunities with which they can impact their destiny in the standings. After tonight, 7 games remaining for Monterey Bay, 9 games remaining for the Oakland Roots. Everything coming down to the wire in the Western Conference of the USL Championship. Back in March in the regular season, Monterey Bay a 3-2 win over these Roots. More recently in June, the Roots a 2-1 win in Jägermeister Cup over Monterey Bay. The rubber match is underway from the Coliseum. Happy to have you with us on ESPN Plus. Alongside MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malva. And right off the kickoff, Gomez over to Bravo, Julian Bravo, almost got through to Wilson. Morey Doner settles, Doner denied by Campuzano. 1-1, 4-4. Nice touch by Bettache. Faysal Bettache pushing it through. Wilson just beyond his reach as Gordon intercepts it.
That's a wrong decision there from Bettache. You need to play that ball into Morey Doner.
How about that from Tarik Scott? Igniting this attack. Fed back his way, advantage play, Scott puts it wide. They might have wanted that pulled back for the advantage. It would have been a free kick in a very dangerous spot for Monterey.
Desired location for Mobi Fehr is right between this 6-yard box and penalty mark, right in front of Kendall McIntosh.
Drop it in that dangerous spot. Scott was there. Gagi heads clear. Secondary ball in. Dom gets to it this time.
Go.
Hackshaw. Bettache. Morey Doner dodges. Now lets it fly. Morey Doner! Brilliant! The Roots lead 1-0.
Fantastic goal here from Morey Doner. It starts with his mentality. Notice the amount of touches he takes, but notice how positive they are. This touch right here bypasses the initial line of pressure and allows him to generate enough power. Low and hard gives you a chance, and that is a lot of traffic in front of Campuzano.
Now his fingerprints on this team, but not quite full turnover. Picked up by Gomez. First time hit, save made. Big rebound is there for Bravo, but he skies it.
Key to everything for the Oakland Roots. Aggressive to hit it first time, but if you are Julian Bravo, just run through this ball. Notice how he's caught in the grass. If you keep your shoulders over and continue with the momentum, there's no chance that it goes up and over the crossbar. Right, the execution hasn't always been perfect. No sugarcoating that, but moments like that, the decision-making, it needs to be cleaner because he wants to be a coach that wants to get on the ball. They want to dictate tempo. They want to be possession-based. So he's brought in players that fit that type of profile, that fit that type.
Scott brings it down. Scott battling still. He's pulled from behind.
Fans, be sure to stick around after the final whistle. About 15 minutes after the match, the skies above the town.
He's really not had a lot to do. He's actually not credited with a save. Going back to that moment earlier for Klein, they actually did credit that as a cross, not a shot. So no saves in that first half for McIntosh. Though Monterey Bay threatened at times, they go to the break down a goal. Oakland's lineup remains unchanged, which is good to see because Morey Doner had signaled for a change right before halftime. He soldiered on to the break and able to get whatever treatment he needed to stay on there now to begin half number 2 as we're underway. Gindiri curls it in, glanced on, loose in front, McIntosh parries away. Foul again called against Monterey Bay. McIntosh rolling around, holding his face. A yellow shown to Ivanovic. Space for Klein. Chased down by Greene and Dom. It's too much for him in the end, the 2v1.
Just no real options right now for the Oakland Roots. It's only Danny Gomez playing right next to Morey Doner. That is when you need Peter Wilson to come to the ball side or make.
Now we're gone. Half hour remains at the Coliseum. Glad to have you with us on ESPN Plus. With Ricky Lopez Espin, I'm Joe Malva. Here's Tarik Scott. Scott cutting in. Scott saved by McIntosh and cleared by Hackshaw.
Fantastic recognition from Tyler Gibson. Notice how Gagi on the ball right now is a center back, how aggressive he is. So Tyler Gibson recognizes that and drops in to make that line of three next to Kai Greene and Hackshaw. Good play.
Prentice cutting in, harassed by Garcia. Still Prentice driving it through. Couldn't get it to Wilson. Scooped by Campuzano. That's when teams are susceptible, letting your guard down before or after a half. Roots succumbed in that situation. Against Sacramento, they had a lead of 1-0. And then they had a lead of 2-1. Now it's played through. Can they hold on here? It's just wide of the far post on cue. Just moments where they have lapses. That off of a restart.
Monterey Bay needs to find the back of the net here. Fantastic ball in from Soyberg, but you need to go with your right foot if you are Paul. Open up your hips, attack the ball, and if slot it towards that far post. You try to go with your left foot. It's a really...
Played in on the free kick. Gagi heads it square. Johnson drives it. Snatched by Campuzano. Wants to ignite this attack quickly and does. And there is the final whistle. The Oakland Roots, in what they characterize as a must-win game, emerge victorious over a rival. The playoff chase for the Roots still on.